In the previous chapter, Wazi noticed that the mission is getting harder since the system requires them to defeat 10 monsters. After defeating 4 slimes, a possessed stump appeared and attacks them, but Wazi was smart to use his spore to weaken it so they defeated easily. But before they find another target, he told Piggy to wait and sit on a stump to absorb it. Now on to the next part. After a while, Wazi finally finished absorbing the stump with his cheeks. To his surprise, he obtained more experience from using Decompose than when he killed the monster. But, unfortunately, his ability cooldown is a little too long. Then he noticed he also gained some single cast ability, so he asked the system for information, which it answers that these are abilities he obtained from monster he decomposed. At most he can receive 2 of a monster's abilities, and this are consumable and will disappear after single use, while abilities that has duration will last 10 minutes instead. This made him excited, as he believes usually when a hero is asked to kill a boss monster they're given cheat skill, and the ability Decompose is his cheat, and now with this he felt even more confident in defeating the demon god. In a later time they rest in a mushroom-made cave. As Piggy was resting, Wazi is thinking hard, although he is progressing steadily right now, trying to stop golems' followers from reviving him. At his current level is like a man is trying to stop a chariot, so he asks the system if he continues to level up at his current rate, how long will it take before he can change his class, which the system answers that monsters cannot undergo class change, instead they get stronger through evolution, and monsters has its own unique evolution pathways. But it can also have special mutations depending on their environment, and other hidden conditions. This intrigued him, so he asks when he can evolve. It tells him that he will receive his evolution mission once he reached 20, and he will receive another evolution mission at level 40. He asks what is the strongest evolutionary pathway is for a mushroom, and he doesn't want to evolve into the dumb-looking boulder mushroom that he saw before, so the system will happily provide him an evolution pathway, but it requires him to offer 200 gold coins for each pathway. Now Lawson grasped the system's intention and is now showing its true colors, but the system was a professional scammer before, so the system tries to convince him that it is actually generous, therefore it gives him 1 pathway for free, which it showed him the pathway of the boulder mushroom, as it made him think who would have thought the dumb-looking rock could evolve into something like this. So after that the system's sales talk him into offering 200 gold coins, since if he knows the evolution pathway he can collect the requirements beforehand. Wazi then tells it that he knows the system is not dumb, so why does it think a monster like him would have gold coins? It replies that where there's a will there's a way, so he should think of ways to earn them. Well, if it turned him into a human he might have been able to gather some coins to give it, but right now he still is just a stupid mushroom. Therefore the system tries to make an exception and will accept materials in exchange, but Wazi stands up and does not need it, since no matter what it say he already have an evolutionary goal in mind, and that is to become the Mushroom King. The next day they were in the field and was dodging the attacks that were coming to them as they were fighting a blade mantis, because they obtained a new mission requiring them to defeat it. Then was he used his one-time use bark skin and launched himself to the mantis, as he was confident that its attacks no longer works on him, but he was mistaken. Now he realized he is going to die, therefore he called out Piggy to tell her the game plan. Now with a plan in mind they went on separate directions. Suddenly Piggy rushes to the mantis, so it tried to land a strike on Piggy, but she was too fast for him as she successfully knocked back the mantis. While this was happening, Wazi uses his camouflage to erase his presence, since the mantis attacks are powerful and fast, but its awareness of its surroundings is absolute trash. No wonder the dumb-looking boulder mushroom could successfully ambush it, and when he saw an opportunity he activates Mushroom Bash and killed it instantly. Thus they leveled up, making him proud, as he claims to be a pro gamer. So he asks the system for another medium difficulty mission, which it did, and it requires them to go to the Mushroom Kingdom. Now it seems he is about to enter the main quest line, so he asks how far it is, which the scammer system answers that it is actually not that far, since it is only about 400 kilometers away, making Wazi angrily asks if it is toying with him, which the system tries to calm him down by telling him that he actually doesn't have to walk the entire way, since it can tell him other ways to get there for a low price of 200 coins. But Wazi decides to ignore the system, as he looks at the bright side and leaves it to Piggy, as she proudly accepts. Later time, with 20 kilometers progress, the two can be seen resting as they exhausted all their SP, and even with Piggy's help they have only made it this far after an entire day. As he can't help but sigh on realization that 400 kilometers is too much for them, which the sadistic system reminds him that he can't cancel mission once he starts. It challenged him that maybe he can find some other way to get there. Therefore Wazi knows the system wants money, so he states to give it some, but before that he asks for a freebie first, which the system firmly tells him that he won't receive any hints unless he can provide gold coins, and it knows he doesn't have any money, so with no choice he lies down while cursing the smartass that decides to give him a pay-to-win system after turning him into a mushroom. Then somehow the system tells him to try to play around with his abilities, maybe he can unlock something new. As he was shocked to hear a hint from the system and was about to do that, but unexpectedly someone violently descends from the scene, as it appears two adventurers came. While the shocked Wazi to see a familiar face as he sees his level, he couldn't believe how fast the mage's progress was. Even with the system he could only reach level 16 after so long, but the mage has already reached level 28, and there's even someone else besides him. At the same time the bald mage loudly states that he finally found it. While they approach Wazi, Piggy didn't hesitate to block their way, but her level wasn't enough to be their opponent, so she was easily sent flying by a kick from the mage. This shocked Wazi as he sees Piggy's unconscious state, but the mage walks past him. While the hooded mage wonder why would there be such low-ranking species of demons so far out here. At the same time the bald one was happy as he risks his life for so long. He finally got his hands on the final requirements for his class change, a firestorm hawk egg, but to Wazi's perspective the mage is talking about him, making him tremble in fear, so he uses his spore explosion. This surprises the mage as to why a mushroom know the skill, but to the wooded mage it wasn't new, as he asks his companion to leave the place since this place is dangerous. To their surprise Piggy launches an attack, but the baldy dodges it, making Piggy hit the stone with a vine on top of it, and now it was acting weird while Wazi came back for Piggy. At the same time the mages were amazed in a new mushroom they see as it got limbs. But suddenly the merry-go-vine unwind and swings the stone around as a defense mechanism. As Wazi was about to get hit by the vine going berserk, he uses Bash to help him to get to the top of it, but the situation escalates as the vine was hitting its own and causing a ripple effect. Now Wazi was concerned as it was going out of control, while the mages were doing their best to dodge all the attacks, but the other monster on the ground wasn't lucky as one of it was hit by the vine and was absorbed by it. After that the vines calmed down, but regrettably for Wazi, the two mages weren't happy of the outcome as their faces were beaten up. Therefore, or they ready their attack, but the firestorm mother was back while they cursed at how their 1,000 gold was for nothing since the mercenaries they hired was too incompetent to even hold back the firestorm hawk for a little longer, while the hawk didn't even hesitate to attack them full force, but the mages managed to block it. While the fight happens, Wazi appraised the hawk as it turns out it was a level 47 monster, but he couldn't see the information since his level is too low. Meanwhile the mages were talking about how to deal with the situations as they have almost depleted their mana and couldn't block another attack from it, but before they could come into conclusion the hooded mage was swiftly killed on sight as it startled the baldy. While the fire hawk finished eating the torso of the mage, it turns to look at him menacingly, but now the baldy has a chance to drink the potion, since it is far away, but still the hawk was fast enough to lessen the distance between them. Therefore the baldy was desperate, so he threatens the mother hawk to break the egg, which the hawk suddenly stops its advances, but still the baldy sustained damage. But now it was confident enough. Fizzy laughed, knowing that a high-ranked monster is like it really do have intelligence and emotions, and now he demands it to obey him. As the hawk hesitates, he casts Thunderbolt onto it, paralyzing it temporarily. Now the baldy has a chance to mock the hawk, as he tells it that he is turning level 50 soon, but he still haven't gone through his second class change, so everyone thinks he is a joke, and even a guild doesn't want him. Not only that, because of his age the requirements for his class change are also more difficult than those younger people. But he can finally vent his anger today. Not only will he finally go through his class change, he will even be able to kill a high-ranking monster like it. As he laughed creepily and kicks the mother hawk's face while he was probably shouting his plans after he changes class. After he vented his anger to the mother hawk, he decides to end it. What will happen next? Stay tuned for the upcoming parts, and like and subscribe the channel so you don't miss it.